Welcome to the Explainer. We hear all the time about the next miracle drug, but have you ever stopped to think about how we're actually going to pay for the futuristic factories that make them? Well, today we're diving deep into the financial playbook for what's called Pharma 4.0. So, let's put you in the driver's seat. Imagine you're a top exec at a major pharma company. Your job? To lead a massive digital overhaul, something that will completely change how you discover and produce life-saving drugs. The price tag is, well, it's billions. And the risks? They're huge. So where do you even start? You might think the first step is in the lab, right? Or maybe on the factory floor. Nope. It starts right here, with the balance sheet. It all kicks off with an incredibly detailed financial plan, a blueprint that turns this massive vision into something that can actually get funded. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big question, just how massive is this challenge? Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of crafting the financial blueprint and, making the case for the cost. After that, we'll see how they guard that huge investment. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see how this whole thing becomes a real powerhouse. Okay, so let's tackle that first point. Just how big of a deal are we talking about here? Look, this isn't just a simple software update. We're talking about a complete revolution in manufacturing. And yeah, it comes with a pretty revolutionary price tag. So what is this Pharma 4.0 thing anyway? It's basically weaving advanced digital tech into every single part of making drugs. I mean, think about it. AI that can predict when a machine is about to break down, tiny IoT sensors that monitor production in real time, automation that takes care of the really tricky stuff. It's so much more than just getting new computers. It's a fundamental shift in how the whole industry works. All right, so how on earth do you build the financial foundation for something this massive? I mean, you can't just walk into the boardroom and ask for a blank check, right? You need a rock-solid, totally defensible financial plan. And this is where things get really interesting. See, every budget like this gets split into two main buckets. The skyscraper analogy is perfect here. On one hand, you've got your CapEx, or capital expenditures. That's the huge one-time cost to build the skyscraper. The steel, the glass, the robotic arms, the cloud infrastructure. Then you've got OpEx, or operational expenditures. That's what it costs to run the thing day to day. Keeping the lights on, paying for subscriptions, training your staff, and all that maintenance. And just look at this split. A massive chunk of the budget, we're talking like 60%, goes right into that initial build-out. That is a huge upfront investment, just to get these new systems up and running, way before you even start to see a single dollar of benefit. But, a really smart budget goes way beyond just that initial split. It's about trying to see the future. Planners look at the total cost of ownership, which is basically every penny an asset will cost over its entire life. They do scenario planning, mapping out what happens in the best case, the worst case, and everything in between. And they use something called phased funding, which is brilliant, really. It means money only gets released when key milestones are hit. It's an amazing way to manage risk. Okay, so you've got your solid blueprint. Now comes the hard part. You have to convince, well, everyone, from the CFO to the entire board, that this giant pile of money is a worthwhile investment. This is where the whole conversation has to shift from how much it costs to how much value it creates. And the magic word here is ROI, return on investment. But we're not just talking about cold hard numbers on a spreadsheet. It's really about telling a powerful story, a story that shows exactly how this investment is going to pay off, not just in money, but in huge leaps in efficiency. And this is where it gets real. The value here isn't some fuzzy theoretical idea. It's totally tangible. We're talking about a 20% slash in maintenance costs, all because an AI can predict when a machine's going to fail. A 30% drop in unplanned downtime because sensors catch problems before they become catastrophes. And getting batches of life-saving medicine out the door 25% faster. These are real, measurable wins. I mean, let's just stop and think about that one number for a second. 30%. Can you imagine the impact, financially, operationally, of keeping a multi-million-dollar production line running for an extra third of the time it would have been down? That is a game changer.
But here's the kicker, and it's a big one. You have to be patient. The ROI doesn't happen overnight. That first year, you might only see a 5% return from some quick wins. But look at what happens down the road. As these systems get fully dialed in and optimized, the returns just skyrocket, hitting 30% or even more after 3 years. This is absolutely a long-term play.
So you've got the money. Great. But how do you make sure these enormous, multi-year projects don't just fly off the rails? Because let's be honest, once that budget is approved, that's when the real work and the real risk kicks in. The answer is something called governance. And it sounds a little corporate-y, but in simple terms, governance is just the rulebook. It's the set of practices and processes that keeps the whole thing on track. It's the playbook everyone agrees to follow to stay accountable and make sure the project actually delivers what it promised. And a huge piece of that governance puzzle is this idea of stage gate controls. Just think about it for a sec. Instead of getting a $1 billion check on day one, the money is unlocked in phases. You only get funding for a pilot project after the initial concept is approved. You only get the budget for the full rollout after that pilot proves it works. It's a brilliant step-by-step approach that slashes financial risk because funding is always tied to actual progress. And how do they manage it day to day? With constant vigilance. They use real-time dashboards to see exactly where the money is going. They have monthly reviews to catch any budget problems early. And this is super important. They always keep a contingency reserve, like a safety net of 10 to 20%, set aside for all those inevitable, unforeseen costs that always pop up. Okay, let's zoom out and look at the big picture here. When you put it all together, the smart blueprint, the powerful ROI case, and that strict governance, what's the final result? What's the real payoff? How does all this financial planning actually transform a company? Well, it all comes back to those real, tangible benefits we talked about. That 20% savings on maintenance, that's not just a number on a spreadsheet. That's millions of dollars that can be plowed right back into R&D, into funding the next generation of cures. And honestly, this might be the most important point of all. This isn't just about saving money. A 25% faster batch release time means that critical medicines get to the people who need them sooner. That is financial efficiency directly translating into better patient outcomes. It's huge. So in the end, all of this incredible, meticulous planning, the number crunching, the tight controls, the goal is so much bigger than just saving a few bucks. It's about building a strong, sustainable foundation that allows a company to keep innovating, to keep creating those life-saving medicines for decades to come. Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. In this race for the next cure, is it possible that the balance sheet is becoming just as mighty as the microscope? That maybe the tools of finance are now just as critical, just as powerful as the tools of science themselves?